Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Fandom Fridays, where we see to check out all the fanfics that are not bullying related. Why? Christmas! That's why! My favorite time of the year has just got started, and you know what that means. Yes! Hi, Santa!
Oh, you guys expect me by now.
The first thing to do with
After about 3 years, you kind of realize that Christmas means that you're going to come in and say hi.
Yes, I give you a whole bunch of Christmas fanfics. And of course, for you, Trixie.
Trixie doesn't need the wings anymore. After so much adventuring and long character development, Trixie was just kind of wondering if he could,
No, this is the beginning.
Sure
Still have to
thing.
put on decorations. Eliza explained.
Meanwhile, at
Eliza
the
moved away
castle,
from the group to
Starlight
get a box
Glimmer would
containing
find
a bunch of glass
special
balls.
tickets to
everyone
the
he
Bahamas
had to put
under
things
her
on the tree.
bed.
She also introduced some other
Thanks,
ornaments he
Santa.
had picked up the past few weeks. There was a castle, a
And
dragon,
as for
a
you,
boat, a mirror, and a
a
storm
new
on
slew of
Earth.
Christmas fanfics for you to
Each
enjoy,
ornament
and no
represents
need to
something
review a
to explain.
single one of them.
The castle
Oh,
represents
thanks,
home.
Santa.
The belt
But
represents our
be
journey on
warned,
this
morsel of fruit user.
The mirror stands for our transformations
Santa?
with the tiniest mirror. She was
Much
said
like
went
how
on.
I warned the
Clown
Pensies
fought
when I
for
gave them
such
their
small
weapons,
things
I must
that would
warn
hold
you.
such large meaning behind
You'll
them.
need all the
Liza
hope,
handed the
the
ornaments to
happiness,
everyone.
the joy that these
Before
fanfics
long,
give you
Your
for
sisters
what
could
lies
place in the
ahead
balls
next
and other
month.
objects around the tree.
For next month,
So the clan was
you
capable
will
of carrying
face
some
one
rare
of your
steel in a
biggest
single
challenges
hand.
yet.
He treated the frazzled glass and other
Aye.
ornaments with such gentleness.
Guys,
The ornaments on. Eliza
when the
introduced
spirit
them
of
to
happiness
Tinsel
and
Holly.
Christmas proceeds
So
to
to
give you an
replace them with
ominous
branches
warning,
and any holes that were visible to
you
the
better
naked
take
eye.
heed of it.
Then she opened her mouth.
I'll be right back.
What's the holly? It's got...
Ouch.
roared Goliath, and dropping the holly, putting his finger in his mouth.
I don't care what fanfic comes up next week. I have the Master Sword. I'm ready to go. Let's roll.
Goliath fearful look.
Okay,
Eliza stroked his head.
I kid and I joke around.
The trio
But
and Angela took heed to
really
the
though,
warning. He used caution when
Christmas
he
is a
handled
wonderful
Holly.
time of year.
Hudson had since taken refuge in
And
his
what better
chair.
way to start out
Feeling
the
something about
celebration
being
by going to
old
New
bone
York?
to rest.
Being
Yep,
too old
it's
to
time to
learn these
finally do a
things. Christmas fig that had been a long time coming. By from a fandom that I've been dying to do, but I haven't ever gotten the chance to for
He's
ages.
still on the losing end of the
Yep.
fruitcake escapade.
It's time to break
Felt
out the
he was supposed to be
gargoyles.
He tried
Hit
vast
it.
amounts of heat and cold to destroy it. But nothing
Manhattan was
worked.
alive with activity
only
as
caused
people
the
rushed
cake to
about
erupt
doing
a small
last minute
ball of
odds and
flames.
ends.
When
With
it
all the
appeared that
flurry
whoever
of
had made the
activity,
cake had
it
added
looked like
a
a
large
colony of
quantity
ants
of
came
rum to
ready
it.
for winter from
He
the view
vowed
of
that
the
he would
planet
not
from
rest
above.
until that miserable piece of cake had been eaten.
People carrying
He snuffed
packages
the
and
flames all
bags
over
of
his hat.
Santa stood for the sky.
The tree, street corners
Shortly after
ringing
adding
their
the tinsel
bells.
on the holiday
Window
displays
near
offered
completion.
views for what was
Last two
sale for
things
the
remaining
winter.
were the skirt that
Christmas
went under the
and
tree
Hanukkah
and the topper
themes.
that went on the top. New Yorkers, who were
Liza
normally
played
used
a
to
grumpy
skirt,
mood,
Lexington
found
put it
herself
at the base of the
smiling
tree.
and being
The
cheerful
team was
as
the
others smiled
smallest.
at them.
Crying moment was
The
a
season
reveal
was
of
at
a
full
beautiful
speed,
angel dressed in
as everyone
silver,
headed home
burgundy,
to
and
spend the
orange
nights
green.
with those they loved.
The client commented on
High
it.
above in the city,
Offering
on
it
the
to
highest
Elias,
building in the
Angela,
world,
the
the atmosphere was no different than from down below.
To the
The
rest
inhabitants of the
clan,
castle
but
were
he
happy and
refused.
cheerful. The
Angela
rooms
finally
were
took it
warm
Lisa
with fires
herself,
blazing
losing
and all
touch
the
with the
large
floor beneath her
hearths and
feet.
decorations and
She
greens
turned
and
to find
garlands
Goliath holding
that
her
were hung in
firmly
doorways
and
and round windows. Sounds
Eliza,
of Christmas music played
since
from the
you
stereo in
introduced
many
us, Mr.
rooms.
Dizzy,
In all,
it's only
it was a
proper
joyous
that you
time
put
for
on
those
the
in
angel.
Castle Wyvern.
said Goliath.
In the wing that the gargoyles occupied,
Angela,
the scents of cookies, cinnamon, and pine
no matter how
filled
much
the
she
air.
refused, it was a losing
Father
battle
had
for
earlier
detective.
brought cookies he had made
Goliath
to the
looked at her
media
so
room
she
to
could
share
reach
with the
the top
clan.
branches. A large
Carefully,
and full
he
pine
placed the
tree
angel on
stood
top
against the
and had
wall,
the others
waiting
tell
to
her
be
if it was
decorated.
straight. Each gave an answer that
As
was
the clock
unrelated
struck
to the other.
the room to the door swung
Brooklyn,
open.
wearing a smile,
And
said,
in there, a stack of packages
"Perhaps
being
if you
carried by
stand
a
over
young
here,
woman.
you could judge it for
The
yourself."
sight gave the impression that the
Packages
packages
and
brought
bags
light
were
and
walking on
Angela.
their own.
They led on
Since
to
the
see
head
her
of the
each
individual
agreed.
carrying them.
Liza
Very
sighed
behind
and asked
that
Goliath
large
to take a
stack.
few steps back and to direct
Seeing
someone
this,
young warriors were
several
standing.
members of the clan came forward
Then
to
the two
offer their
came to stand in a
assistance.
designated area.
Goliath took the
Smiles
boxes
became
while
larger as
Brooklyn
they
and Lexington
giggled
took
like
the
a bunch
bags
of
as Eliza
teenagers.
removed her coat.
Hudson
Tossed it over
picked
the
up
back
on
of
what
the
the
cows,
younger ones were doing.
seeing all the
Nothing
items
to
on the
stop
floor. The younger two
Nearly
began to
sat
peek in
back and
bags
enjoyed
and
the packages
pouches
that
to
was
see
breaking
what
out
their
before
human
him.
friend had brought with her.
Puck abandoned the damnable
Goliath,
fruitcake for
meanwhile,
a
stood
more
aside
irritating
and hugged
sight.
Eliza after watching the two eager warriors
Eliza's
momentarily.
cop instinct immediately took in as he became aware that
It is
something was
good
going
to see
on.
you.
Goliath also
Goliath
became aware of
replied,
the difference
not having
between
looked
seeing
at
the
the
others
others
who
who
were
loved
all
several
wore
nights.
innocent looks upon their
He
faces.
ran his talons through her night-colored tresses.
He turned to see Eliza
With a smile,
how the
Eliza
angel was
replied,
situated.
"I missed you.
Eliza,
It's
what
good
do
to
you
be here
think?
tonight."
Goliath
Goliath
sighed
sighed
with
with
Eliza
Lisa and found her not wearing her traditional wardrobe.
wardrobe.
Goliath.
Instead,
I think it's
dressed
fine.
in a wear sweater
See,
with
Stan,
snowflakes
turn your
along
gaze to
with
the
it,
others and
along
add,
with black jeans
these
and
guys
work
seem to learn to be
boots.
more specific
Her
in
hair
this
hung
circle.
down her back as usual.
Speaking of
Angela,
being more assertive,
Bronx and Toe.
did you guys observe
Came
what
into
you
the
two
room
were
and greeted her friend with a hug.
Packed of a smile.
Bronx wagged his tail and jumped on her.
What are you talking about?
Hudson came in a few minutes
Liza
later.
asked,
Looking
He
around
just
his
said
Goliath
to
a
the
hug before taking a seat in his
Look
favorite
up.
recliner. Put
The
Bronx
second
in
ready
his
to
hand.
command,
Said, pointing
Liza
upwards.
looked
around the room.
Looking
And
together,
asked, Eliza
Where's
and Goliath
Broadway?
found themselves standing under a sprig
With a
of
smile.
mistletoe. Angela answered,
What's this?
He's in the kitchen baking.
Asked
What he's making, I don't
Not that
know.
guy.
He'll
Did
not
you
tell
just-
us, let alone permit
They're
us
caught
to
under
under
this
this green stuff, which is called
I see.
mistletoe.
You have to
Eliza
kiss
replied
someone.
with a smile. Eliza explained.
Walking
Over to the bags
She
and
and the others
boxes
looked
that were
at
set
the
aside.
register
as lethal weapons. She gently pushed away 2 young warriors speaking through them.
Now that I think about it, when these guys know about the tradition
Now,
of
where
mistletoe,
are those
or was
damn
this a
lights?
tradition that
She
popped
muttered.
up
These
after
lights.
1007?
Spoke a voice from behind Eliza. With a groan, she turned herself to find none other than Puck, floating at eye level, holding Eliza's thought. That means, since the 2 of you are under it, you have to kiss each other. Cut in Puck, wearing a smile. Sharing Christmas with you guys, Mr. Gloomy the other agreed with Puck. The face said with a grin, straightening the sand hat she wore. Master in the past few minutes.
How did you get
Eliza
out?
muttered something under her
I don't
breath
see
and turned to
Alex
face
with you,
Goliath.
So I know
Shall I
this
give
isn't
them what
a
they
magical
want?
lesson.
With a nod,
Goliath
said,
picked up
ignoring
Eliza,
Puck's last
kept her
comment.
kiss lips with her own.
Daddy Oberon
For
is
someone
a
who's
sucker
new to
for the
human
Christmas
tradition,
holidays.
kissing.
So
I've
I've
been
done
a
rather
good
well
boy
since
this
he had
year,
perfect
and since he's
time
in a
for
cheerful
Fred's
mood,
kissing
he let me
technique,
off
said
the
Tuck's
hook.
moon.
He gave me some permission
Kiss
to
was
have some
gentle at
fun
first,
this
but it's
year.
intensified.
Tuck
Tuck
smiled
smiled
and
and
flashed
flashed
a
a
light.
Goliath
Goliath
went from wearing just a loincloth to wearing a Santa suit, including a white beard and just a bowl full of jelly belly. Now, that's more like it.
Stop fanning yourself.
I can't help it. A favorite
The
ship of
words
mine
echoed
just started
through the
kissing.
wing
The castle. The clients turned
Out
their
of breath
heads
from
and
the
passed their
winter
kiss.
year.
Eliza broke away.
Top it off.
The door
Goliath
opened
said
and
to her
Rushed
two feet,
Thanatos.
leaned against
He
Goliath
stood
with a
there
hand
with
over her
a
racing heart.
bemused look on his face.
Looking at the others,
after
he
seeing
asked,
all the
"Is that what
commands
you
that
wanted
had
to
been
see?"
caused by. Well, personally, there's more I wanted to see,
Boring
but
and you look to see
then
from
we would be getting an
Goliath.
M rating. The multi-billionaire no one could utter a word. Smiling amusement
You're
playing
still
on his
dumbfounded
lips.
over
Over to kiss he just witnessed.
Say another
Puck was so
word,
startled he forgot
Santa
about concentrating on his
Claus, or I
floating
will hurt you.
that he fell to the
But when
floor,
you take
landing on his
into
backside with a thump.
consideration, you are now my ally.
Well,
Goliath
if
threatened.
you got guys had some
Suddenly there was
around,
another in the room.
I think it's
Fox
time to
had
move
come
on
in
to
as
the
soon as he
next
heard
event.
Goliath yelling Puck's
Eliza
name.
replied, "What is going on here?"
She
What
asked
doesn't
with
have to
concern.
last?
Goliath?
Asked Hudson from his
She
chair.
gave the
Lavender
Peasants
Santa a
gave
close
him
look.
a
With a smile. Everyone's
You know,
face lit
guys,
up with excitement. Eliza looked around at everyone and said,
Some days,
I'll be back.
let me go get
You
presents.
almost forget
She then
just
left the
how
room
many
and headed
strong
down to the
women
garage
to get the presents out of her car.
We're in
Client
gargoyles,
looked around at
period.
each other.
I mean, we had
Soon they were all
Fox,
rushing out of the room
Eliza,
in every
Demona,
which way,
Angela,
seeming confused
and
as
each
to
one of
whether
them had a
behind.
different characterization, and
Eliza
each one
arrived
of them
back
was so
a while
well
later to
developed.
find the client where she
So
left him.
nicely developed and so
The
well
trio
attended.
came forward
Ow!
and relieved her of several large, overflowing bags that she carried,
Yes,
directing
Fox,
them to
it
be
is
put on the
I.
table.
He replied,
Eliza dug into
took
each
his beer
one at a
only to
time,
find it attached
pulled
to
out
his
an array
chin.
of comfortably
He
wrapped
flinched.
packages.
If I were
We
you,
said to
I would
sway
advise your
them under
husband
the
to
tree,
keep his
but
mouth
the client had
shut,
already put their
lest he
gifts.
drew you with suspicion
Curiously,
of
who
having
put the
children.
gifts where from Eliza? Stuck a peek
Crazy
at the phone
Xanatos
of her tag,
constantly crossed his
continuing
legs.
on with
made his
arranging
way
the
to
rest
the
of the
door.
gifts under a tree.
If everyone will excuse
When she was
me, I
done,
have to,
the client and her
tend to
stood
the,
back and looked at the tree.
trust business.
Some commented while
didn't
others
laugh.
just wanted to open
Fox
presents.
bawled shortly after him.
Eliza had to laugh
Turning
at
to
her
Puck,
youthful
who was whistling a
spirits.
Christmas tune.
She enjoyed it when the
Goliath
whole
waved
clan got
Faye
together
in front of
to
his tunic
participate
and
in
said in a stern
festivities.
voice, "Alright,
Turn me
we'll
back
open
to
your
my true
presents.
form.
You guys are anxious."
Eliza said, laughing.
The look on the lavender giant's face
The room
told
rubbed
him
into
that he was
tears
dead
as
serious
everyone
and not in
gathered
the
around
mood
the
to be
tree.
toyed with.
Puck too was invited with a wave of Eliza's hand.
Alright.
Gave up on the
The
fruitcake for the
real
time
shirt.
being and
Do you
floated
know
over
how
to
hard
the
it
others.
is to get them out of this material? Tracy replied,
What are
trying
you
to release the
thinking?
anchor lavender unicorn
Are there any
gar-
Christmas
gargoyle's
songs about
grip.
fruitcake? Oh boy,
He
what
said
are you
lavender
thinking?
unicorn. Sorry.
Oh, I'm just thinking of
I
something
wonder
for
if there's a
Tales from
thing
the
in
Hearth.
gargoyle fandom called the lavender
Secretly,
gargoyle
everyone dove for
syndrome.
Presents, and soon the colorful wrapping paper was
With
flying
a few
in every
words and a
direction.
flash of light,
Goliath
sounds
was
of
back to
wrapping
his old
paper
form,
and
and
music
gave
blended
growl
together,
the tree to a
creating
corner
the
of
sound of
Eliza.
Christmas. Puck floated
After
over
a
the cart,
cart
also
it
filled
took
the
one of
room.
the cookies and he ate off
Eliza
it.
paused to watch the
He
client
ate it
open
and
their
watched as
gifts.
people around him
Listening
interact
to
with
one
faces were
another.
priceless. Made her
He
wish
wore
she
a
had brought her
smile that
camera
meant only
so
one
she could
thing.
capture these timeless
He had
moments
something
on
up his
film.
sleeve. Besides,
She didn't
this
have
is
a camera.
all starting
She
to
just had
feel
the stored images in her
feels
mind,
similar
but never
to
that way.
say a pony fic. I mean, look, we got a lavender cool character. We have a maniacal trickster.
Pleasure seeing them all enjoying the evening.
I mean, good golly.
Pause for a few more moments before returning to opening
Sign
the
me
gifts
up.
you had been given.
I can do a pony fic too.
Eliza turned back to opening her gifts.
Eliza's demands to get
Only
back to the
looked
back
up when someone announced that a gift from her was being opened.
Spotted.
Brooklyn was pleased with a selection
Hey,
of heavy metal and
you're not
rock and
gonna
roll
find any
CDs that
pretzels
he
in there,
got.
guy.
Yeah.
Eliza
Eliza
said
Hudson
with a
gave
smile.
Eliza a look,
Because you gave a
knowing
look
he
of
would not be
disappointment
around
at
when the
Ben
music
and
was
Nurse.
played. Broadway was decided to have several cookbooks.
They waited until Broadway
was done in the kitchen so they could start new recipes. The stocky was given a new computer program he had been talking about, loaded with cookies, cake, and eggnog,
and a subscription to Playgirl.
Everyone approached him, soon stuffing themselves with rich, selectable treats. With the treats eaten
We
at
all
the
know that
everyone moved on to
is,
decorate the
you
room
know,
with the wing the client occupied.
Angela received a new tunic,
Greens
some hair
woven with holly
accessories.
were hung on the walls.
Hudson received a new book written by his
Greens was
friend
hung
Jeffrey
into the
Robbins
doors.
that had been dedicated to him.
Ribbons accompanied the
Bronx
greens
had been given
and
several
garland
large
that were
phones
to the
that were
swags.
tough enough to withstand
Several candle while
sound
before
of people
being
lit,
giving out
the light of
received a
cinnamon
book on
pine
classic
berry.
stories and myths.
The fireplace was decked with
Amongst
greens
the gifts
and
Eliza
candles on the
received,
mantle.
she got
While
several search
hung
from
over
trio.
it. A movie from
The
Hudson.
room was set
A CD by her favorite singer from Bronx.
so she knew
Music
he did not
intertwined
personally
with
buy it
sounds
for
of
her.
laughter, chatter,
And a framed picture of the clan and
and
Eliza
Eliza
together took a
from
break
Angela.
to have more eggnog.
Her favorite gift was a
before moving on to
pendant
tackle the
singing in the
silhouette form of gargoyle, made from a piece
Liza,
of Goliath's
we're
stone
trying
skin.
against
Goliath's massive
The
body.
gargoyle was
Smiled
Goliath.
beside the clan.
It had polished
They
smooth
were
to the
happy
touch.
and excited to
So
incorporate
the gray
new
stone
traditions of
suspended
old.
by a silver
They
chain
knew the
was
meaning
fastened
behind
around
the
her
scene.
slender neck
They
and
found
was
it
sealed
interesting.
So
Goliath
they
had
still
personally
honored
done
the
the
honor
honor
after
of
being asked to.
The trio and
I
Angela
know
were
that
trying to
I'll
sing
always be
along
close
with
to
one of
you
the songs,
forever in your
playing on the
heart.
stereo.
My love.
Although they were off key, Clive whispered as
Hudson
he sat
sat
in his chair, drinking his egg.
Eliza held it with her hands
Bronx
whispered
stood on.
back.
Bronx! Eliza
Forever
cried
and
out,
ever.
dancing directly at the gargoyle. She said in a soft
No,
tone.
bad boy.
Only Clive could hear. She scolded while he
Then she
rescued a
kissed him.
strand of light from the beast's death-gripping claws.
Well,
She examined the
my
lights.
shot
and
is
found
he
them
seems to be
completely covered in
happy.
slobber.
He does get rid of good
No
thick with his
teeth were-
one of his
were
favorite
evident, so that
ships
was a
from
good
his
sign.
favorite show.
Puck
Look
looked
at
up
him,
where he
so
was doing
content.
and laughed.
So serene.
This witness.
Brrr, she
Then
just needs
back
to
where he
ruin
was
it.
doing. Picked up a piece of cake and took a bite.
Sanders no longer
was
is a
unable
thing
to.
on Supergirl.
Serving the content, he saw it was a piece of what humans called fruitcake.
This one that sound was louder. Oh god, he roared so loudly that it reached ultrasonic.
The most fiendish of all Christmas delights. Fruitcake. Not
Sitting
even
on the edge of the
guts
group,
left. Eat it.
Puck curiously looked at the gifts.
If you see
and found
this
a few that was his,
dis-
or in that case,
destruction
on it.
of
Silent.
all
Looked at
things
the
that is
paper
good
and
and
found several
pure in
times
this
amongst the
world.
gifts. Sighing at the sight of
You
the boring
must
gift,
have
this
this
down
gift.
and burn it. Cast them aside.
This has
and
been
you
a
Owen
party
were
associated against fruitcake.
Puck did. After everyone was
long,
done, all the party gathered around and decided on the best place for the tree. With the tree in its stand, Goliath was honored with the job of moving it from one place to another, hoping that each was the right spot, but was agitated each time hearing Eliza say, "Move it right, left, not your right but mine," too many times. Staying in front of the large window that was the room. Goliath stepped away and moved to stand beside Eliza. "I think it's crooked, big guy. See how it leans to the right?" She replied. Goliath gave a mock roar and grabbed Eliza, held her close to his body and whispered in his ear, "It's fine where it is." He then gave her a quick kiss. "Well, it must be Christmas. The author forgot to hit the enter button and you haven't lost your temper." It's Christmas. I'm gonna let this slide." Puck looked at the two as they shared a kiss. Smiling, he muttered something under his breath that motioned for Brooklyn to come to him. Tracer whispered in the second's ear, and he smiled. Puck then turned his attention back to the fruitcake. With a wave of his hand, an anvil appeared out of nowhere and fell to the floor, landing on the fruitcake. The anvil disappeared and revealed a solid, unsquished piece of cake. Puck cursed under his breath. Brooklyn gathered his two brothers and whispered something in their ears. With a laugh, they dashed from the room to go fetch what they needed. Puck watched as they did and smiled. Angela, watching what was going on behind the trio, shrugged it off and finished untangling a strand of light that was needed to be undone before they could go on a large tree. Hudson was too busy trying to rescue another strand of light from Bronx to be paying attention. Lisa and Goliath were too caught up in the cuddling and chatting in the corner. The sounds of music muted the noise the trio made before as they came back to the room. With a few preparations, the plan was set into motion. Angela saw what they were up to and shook her head but smiled, knowing they could act like hatchlings at times. The boys were still thoughtful and sweet. "Are you going to be decorating the tree now that it's set up?" casually asked Brooklyn. Eliza pulled away from Goliath, but he still kept an arm wrapped around her waist as he approached the tree. "I'm ready when you guys are," she replied. Seeing Goliath then moved in the direction of the bags, and packs as decorations were stored. "Yes!" the trio and Angela, who helped to get the decorations. "Alright, the first thing to do when decorating the tree is to put on the lights," Eliza explained, demonstrating how the lights went on. Glenn caught on and soon was stringing the lights onto the 10-foot tree. Before long, the entire tree was aglow and twinkling with white lights.
Everyone stood back and watched as the lights twinkled like little stars. The clan was amazed at such a simple thing. "Is this the end of decorating the tree?" asked Angela. "No, this is just the beginning. We still had to put on the decorations," Eliza explained. Eliza Way moved away to get causing clean to Bud's glass balls. She showed them to everyone and began putting them on the tree. She also introduced some other ornaments that she had picked up from the past few weeks. There was a castle, a dragon, a boat, a mirror, and a sword, among other things. Each ornament represented something she explained. "The castle represents home. The boat represents our journey on this gift. The mirror stands for our transformations with Titania's mirror," she said and went on. The clan found that for such small things they could hold large meaning behind them. Liza handed the ornaments to everyone, and before long they were strategically placed amongst balls and other objects around the tree. Though the clan was capable of crushing bare steel with a single hand, they treated the fragile glass and other fine ornaments with such gentleness. With the ornaments on, Eliza introduced them to tinsel some holly, which would be placed on branches and in any holes that were visible to the naked eye. As she opened her mouth, What's the holly? She's got..."
Ouch!
roared Goliath, dropping the holly, putting his finger in his mouth as his eyes glowed white. "Sharp ends on the leaves," she finished, though the information was too late. Goliath gave it a look, and Eliza shrugged and said, "I tried to warn you." Trio and Angela took heed of the warning and used caution when handling holly. Hudson had since taken refuge in a chair, complaining about giving his old bones a rest and being too old to be learning new things. Eliza merely shook her head and went on with decorating. Puck, meanwhile, divided his attention between the tree decorating party and the indestructible fruitcake. He was still on the losing end of the fruitcake escapade, but he still felt he was closing in on it. He had tried vast amounts of heat and cold to destroy it, but neither had worked. The heat only caused the cake to erupt into a small ball of flames. It appeared that whoever made the cake had added a large quantity of rum to it. He vowed he would not rest until that miserable piece of cake had been eaten, as he snuffed the flames out with his hat. The tree, shortly after adding the tinsel and holly, was near completion. The last two things remaining were the skirt and the topper went on top. Eliza produced the skirt, and let Lacey put it at the base of the tree, since he was the smallest. The crowning moment came when she revealed the beautiful angel dressed in silver, burgundy, and forest green. The clan commented on it. Offering it to Angela, she declined, so Eliza offered it to the rest of the clan, but each refused. Angela finally took it, as Eliza herself losing touch with the floor beneath her feet. She turned to find Goliath holding her firmly, yet gently. "Eliza, since you have introduced us to this tradition, only proper you put on the angel," said Angela, handing Eliza the angel. Angela's probably hoping that Eliza would become her new stepmom. No matter how much she refused, it was a losing battle for the detective. Goliath lifted her so she could reach the topmost branches. Carefully, she placed the angel on top, and the other cellar if it was straight. Each gave an answer if it was unrelated to herself. Brooklyn, wearing a smile, said, "Perhaps if you stand over here, you could judge for yourself." Lexington, Broadway, and even Angela, who'd been let on the secret, each agreed. Eliza sighed and asked Goliath to take a few steps back in the direction where the young warriors were standing. When the two came to stand in the designated area, the smiles became larger and became giggly like a bunch of teenagers. Hudson, who picked up on what the younger ones were doing, did nothing to stop them. He merely sat back, enjoying the small show that was breaking out before them. Puck abandoned the damnable fruitcake for more entertaining sights. Liza's cop instinct suddenly kicked in, as she became aware something was going on. Clive also became aware of the difference, and turned to look at the others, who all wore innocent looks on their faces. He turned back and let Eliza see how the angel's situation.
"Eliza, what do you think?"
The questioned the lavender giant. "Well, Goliath, I think it's fine." Turning her gaze to the others, he added, "These guys need to be more observant and specific."
"Speaking of observant, did you guys observe where you two were standing?"
Piped up a smirking Brooklyn. "What are you talking about?" Eliza asked, looking around as Goliath got to her feet.
"Look up,"
the red second-in-command said, pointing upwards. Looking up together, Eliza and Goliath found themselves standing under a springle of mistletoe.
"What is the big deal about this green plant?"
Now that I think about it, wouldn't these guys already know about the tradition of mistletoe? Unless this is a tradition that started after 1004. Well, big guy, it's a tradition. If you call into this green stuff, which is called mistletoe, you have to kiss someone. Liza explained, showing the others a look that could have been registered as a lethal weapon. And that means, since the two of you are under it, you have to kiss one another, cut in Puck, wearing a smile. Goliath floated into Trickster's look as the other agreed with Puck. He and Eliza gave them a look that both seemed to have mastered in the past few minutes. Eliza muttered something under her breath and turned to face Goliath. Shall we give them what they want? She said with a smile. No, what I want would actually turn this fic M-rated real damn quick. With a nod, Goliath picked up Eliza and captured her lips with his own. For someone who was new to the humane tradition of kissing, Goliath had done very well since he had time to perfect his kissing technique and since the hunter's moon. The kiss was gentle at first, but as it intensified, Eliza wrapped her arms around Goliath's muscular neck and pulled him closer. Tender lips sought out what they craved, and before long they were satisfied. So was I. So was I. Out of breath from the passionate kiss, Eliza broke away. Goliath set her to her feet and leaned against Goliath with a hand over her racing heart. Looking at the others, she asked, Is that what you wanted to see? No. Oh. No one could utter a word. They were still dumbfounded over the kiss he had just witnessed. Puck was also so startled he forgot about concentrating on his floating, that he fell to the floor, landing on his backside with a thump. Well, if you guys are done playing around, I think it's time to move on to the next event of the evening, Liza replied.
What is left of us?
Asked Hudson from his chair. Presents, she exclaimed with a smile, and everyone's face lit up with excitement. Liza looked around at everyone and said, I'll be right back. Let me go get the presents. She then left the room and headed down to the garage to get the presents out of her car. Clay looked around at each other, and soon were rushing out the room in every which way, leaving a confused and bewildered Bronx behind. Eliza arrived back a while later to find the clan where she had left them, The trio came forward and relieved her of several large, overflowing bags she had carried. Directing them to be on the front of the table, Eliza dug into each, one at a time, and pulled out an array of carefully wrapped packages. The detective situated them under the tree, where the clan had already put their gifts. Curious who put the gifts were from Eliza, snuck a peek at some of the bags, before continuing on with their arranging the rest of the gifts under the tree. When she was done, the client and her stood back and looked at the tree. Some commented on it, while others wanted to open presents. Eliza had to laugh at the useful spirits. She enjoyed it when the whole clan got together to participate in the festivities. All right, we'll open presents. You guys are so anxious, Eliza said, laughing. The room erupted into cheers as everyone gathered around the tree. Puck, too, was invited with a wave of Eliza's hand. He gave up on the fruitcake for the time being and floated over to the others. Eagerly, everyone dove for the presents, and soon colorful wrapping paper was flying in every direction. The sounds of ripping paper and music blended together, creating the sounds of Christmas. Laughing and chattering also filled the room. Eliza paused to watch the client open their gifts. The looks in their faces were priceless, and made her wish she brought her camera so she could capture these timeless moments on film. Since she didn't have a camera, she would just have to store the images in her mind and remember them that way. Goliath noted that his love had stopped to watch the others and smiled at the scene. It was a pleasure to see them all enjoying the evening. He watched for a few more moments before returning to open the gifts he had given. Eliza turned back to opening her gifts, only to look up when someone announced that a gift from her was being opened. Brooklyn was pleased with the selection of heavy metal and rock and roll CDs he had gotten. Woot. Goliath and Hudson gave Eliza a look, knowing they would not be around when the music was being played. Broadway was excited to have gotten several cookbooks. He was ready to go straight to the kitchen so he could try the new recipes. Lexington received a new computer program he had been talking about. Angela received a new tunic and some hair accessories. Hudson received a book written by his friend Jeffrey Robbins that had also been dedicated to him. Fox had been given several large bones that were tough enough to make him withstand his jawstring for a while before being eaten. Clive received a book of classic stories and myths. Amongst the gifts Eliza had received, she got several shirts from the trio, a movie from Hudson, a CD by her favorite singer from Bronx, so she knew he did not personally buy it for her, and a framed picture of the clan and Eliza got together from Angela. Her favorite gift of all was a pendant shaped in the silhouette of form of a gargoyle, made from a piece of Goliath's stone skin. The gargoyle was Goliath, had been polished and made smooth to the touch. The gray stone, suspended from a silver chain, was fastened around her slender neck as soon as he had her open it. Goliath had personally done the honor before being asked to know I will always be close to your heart, Goliath whispered as he fastened it. Eliza held it in her hands and whispered back, "Forever I will wear it with love." She said in a soft tone only Goliath could hear. She then kissed him. Sitting on the edge of the group, Puck curiously looked at the gifts and found a few of his, or in that case, Owen's name on them. Silently, he read through the paper and found ties amongst the gifts. Sighing at the sight of the boring yet traditional gifts, he cast them aside and knew Owen would like them better than Puck did. Before long, all the presents had been opened and examining their gifts more closely. Upon closer inspection, Goliath found an envelope in his book. Opening it, he found a few small pieces of paper with messages written on them. Scanning them, he read, "Good for a night with someone you hold dear to your heart. Good for a romantic picnic in the park," etc. Leaning over, he kissed Eliza, then whispered, "These will come handy. Thank you, my love." Eliza smiled and thanked him again for the gift he had given her. Puck returned to his mission of destroying that blasted fruitcake that would not die, let alone be eaten. Just seeing off, he tried to eat it, but it didn't happen. Instead, he wound up howling in pain as he nearly broke his teeth in the process of biting the hard dessert. Eyeing it, he got a light bulb moment. A small light bulb appeared at his head. He pulled a cord and turned out the light. Whistling, he got Brox's attention and called for the guard beast. The dog came over and sniffed the offered treat. He gave a hard snort and the cake fell to the floor. Stuck his nose at the indestructible food and turned away to go back to his position by Hudson's feet. Muttering under his breath, Puck cursed the beast. There had to be a way of outsmarting and defeating the miserable fruitcake, but he hadn't found a way yet. For long, the night's excitement and events were coming to a close, as dawn was but an hour away. Everyone was disappointed at the fact that the night had gone away so quickly. It would soon be over. They finished cleaning out the wrapping paper and other messes they were responsible for. Before long, the room was clean and back in the order which it had been found. Sitting around, everyone talked and enjoyed the last bit of the evening. So when the clock on the mantel chimed, the clan groaned and made their way out of the room and up to their roosting places with Eliza in tow. On the way out, Broadway stopped by the cart where the food was and took the piece of fruitcake that Puck had been battling with all night. He ate it one bite and consumed the remainder of the cake that had been left untouched throughout the night. He then proceeded to follow the others. As the sun rose over the city, transforming the clan into the stone forms under the watchful eye of their dear human friend, Puck remained behind, too stunned since the last sight of Broadway eating the miserable piece of fruitcake he could not destroy. The dumbfounded Faye rounded on his backside once more because of surprise and shock. It was a mere gargoyle that was able to defeat the cake just by eating it. Not even the magic of one of Oberon's children could do that. The bewildered Faye sat on the floor in disbelief. A look of sheer amazement and wide-eyed wonderment was present on his face as the morning sun shone through the window and onto the trickster. The end. Like I said, I don't review these Christmas fics when I'm done. I just let you people enjoy. Especially since Gargoyles has always been one of my favorite shows.